Hey everyone, here's another example from section 2.2. This example is kind of a limit laws example. It's like problem number 34, which is the last problem in your homework section. It asks you to find the limit, or it says if the limit as x approaches 3, f of x minus 5 divided by x minus 2 equals 3. So the limit of this function equals 3. They want you to find the limit as x approaches 3 for just f of x. So they have the limit of this function equal to 3, but they just want you to find the limit as x approaches 3 for f of x. So they want you to find the limit of this. This is we're going to use limit laws here. And the first limit law we're going to use is the quotient limit law. So we have a division. We're going to split this limit as x approaches 3 between the top and the bottom. So the quotient limit law says that I can say limit as x approaches 3 for the top, which is f of x minus 5, and I can divide that now between the limit as x approaches 3 of x minus 2, that equals 3. So that was the quotient law that we just used. So now from there I'm going to use the difference law. So I'm going to say, okay, if limit of x approaches 3 of f of x minus 5, if I have the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x minus 5, that's really the same as the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x minus the limit as x approaches 3 of 5. And that's going to be the same on the bottom. That's going to be the limit as x approaches 3 of x minus the limit as x approaches 3 of 2. So that was the difference law. And I better put equals 3 right here. Okay, but that was using the difference law. Sorry for that scrunching there. So from there then I can start to evaluate these limits, which is going to be pretty cool. So obviously I can't evaluate this limit because that's the limit as x approaches 3 of some function I don't know. But the limit as x approaches 3 for 5, well, no matter if I plug a 3 in here, there's nothing to plug it into. So really the limit as x approaches 3 of 5 is 5. So I can write that as limit as x approaches 3 f of x, and now I can just write minus 5 over, well, what's the limit as x approaches 3 of x? Well, I just plug 3 in there and that's 3. So this is really the limit as x approaches 3 of x is just 3. And of course, just like on the, I forgot to put a 3 there. Just like on the above limit as x approaches 3 of 5, limit as x approaches 3 of 2 is going to be just 2, so minus 2. And that all equals 3. Now from there you can see that that's going to be the limit as x approaches 3. I can actually write that as over 1. So really I just have limit of x approaches 3 f of x minus 5 equals 3, right? Because if I have something over 1, I don't really have to write it over 1. So then if I add 5 to both sides, that's going to imply that limit as x approaches 3 of f of x, so add 5 to both sides, is going to equal 8. So remember, we're trying to find the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x. We found it. The limit as x approaches 3 of f of x is going to equal 8.